So this is Street. We moved into Street before Ben was born. A very large terraced house, as I remember, 3 floors with very steep stairs, and a cellar. I don't think we'd ever had a cellar before, and a very long garden, overgrown garden as it was. Very long extension kitchen and tiled floors. I remember it having those earthenware tiled floors. Very cold house. When you was born, you didn't sleep at the normal time for about 6 months. So we had to change our shifts, our working patterns, me and Mum. So I was awake with you all night, and then I slept, and then Mum did the next shift. I landscaped the garden, and we dug out a circle in the bottom of the garden, made it so it was a sunken garden, and I built all the walls around it. But we had trouble with the neighbours, so we had to move. The neighbours weren't very good, and we moved. So next house. Now this was a totally different house to the one that we've just left. This one's a lot lighter, a lot more modern, not as cramped, because the other one was a Victorian back-to-back terraced house. Very dark, very tall. This is a more modern house, more modern windows, more modern rooms, and a better kitchen, and a back garden and a front garden. The front garden was very high from the pavement side, so we spent weeks digging out the garden to make a parking space for the car. The back garden, in the corner, we dug out a huge hole amongst the trees, and I built a concreted a pond into the back garden. Was everybody like that house?
I can remember when that pond froze over. And,
with a fish in it.
I don't know who it was that stepped out into it and went straight down. It was about 3 foot deep as well. One on you, I can't remember which one of the kids it was, but one on you stepped out onto the bloody house and went right down into the bloody pond.
That was a happy house though, wasn't it? Because we had barbecues. Your sister lived next door.
Yeah, you built that barbecue.
We built
I just remembered that.
Yeah, I built a barbecue. We had.
Went and go as a gate. Not Johnson.
We didn't have a gate, so we went and got a gate. We got some metal gates, didn't we?
Yeah.
For the thing. Everybody knew somebody that could get you something. You know what I mean? Oh. But yeah, Christmas was nice. I remember we was that poor that one Christmas, the round table came round.
With that hamper.
Can you remember, with a huge hamper, and it had a turkey, and we had presents for the kids. They had bags with different toys and what have you.
Yeah, do you know what you just?
I
don't know if I'm allowed to talk on this take.
It was amazing, wasn't it? Because we didn't know that was going to happen.
I just needed to say this. That was the year that the snows came.
Yeah.
And everybody got the electrics cut off, blackout, whatever.
That's right.
The lines came down with the weight of the snow, and you
I
walked
had
all the way to
we didn't have
Scattergoods in
from
Arlington
Scattergoods through the snow.
There was no way of cooking.
There was no way of we didn't have any electric, and there was no heating whatsoever.
We had
So the only way to do it was to go
fire.
to the coal merchants, which is in Daybrook.
Yeah.
And there was like 2 foot of snow, and
That's like us walking to your house and back twice.
so I had to walk all the way to Daybrook Scattergoods, coal merchants, and buy a sack of coal, and then carry the sack of coal back through the snow from Daybrook back to the house, so that we could have some heat.
Yeah, so we could boil a kettle and
So we could do
warm some food up.
because we didn't have anything.
Because we didn't have no electric. Because nobody knew that snow was coming, and that was like one of them freak things that happens. You go to bed with no snow, and you wake up, and it was about this time of year as well.
It was absolutely
It was Easter time.
freezing, wasn't it?
It was. That just provoked that memory.
I think that's where put all those pins into the chair as well, isn't it?
No. That one.
It's a different house.
Street.
Well, I was close. I can't remember. Anyway, next one. Road. This is because our horrible next door neighbours decided to set fire to this house while we were on holiday. So we had to move into temporary accommodation. Now this house was, I remember, secondary double glazing. Can you remember? It was plastic windows, inside windows. But it did have a patio door, didn't it? Patio doors opening up, and you got a small garden, but then you've got a big field at the back, so you've got the health centre and the swimming pool. Yeah. So the kids could go down and through the fence and play on the field.
Yeah.
And at the front it had two great big tall fir trees.
They burned them.
No, I think there was fir trees.
They was at the back.
I remember them. I remember
we
two.
Did have them. There was there.
I remember two being at the front.
This is what I'm saying about your own thoughts, because he says at the front, and I'm saying it was at the back. But in his mind, it could have been at the front.
I do remember that house, whichever way you went to that house, you had a hill.
Yeah.
Because there was a hill on one side to go to one set of shops, and then a hill at the other side to go to the other set of shops. I don't remember much more about that house.
Yeah.
It was
We got Shaw.
Oh yeah.
Crazy dog.
Yeah, I don't remember very much more about that one. White houses. That was a bit of a dump, wasn't it? Crazy woman next door on a bloody treadmill. Oh my God, you're banging on the wall. And the walls was like cardboard, weren't they? Turn the bloody thing up. Oh, and we had that gigantic settee that sat about 8 people. Can you remember?
Had all them kids.
It was gigantic though, wasn't it? It was enormous. I had to build it. It came in pieces. It was like a Meccano.
It was quite an expensive. We bought it from some rich people.
It was some famous designer bloke.
I can't remember the name of the designer.
The thing I remember most about that place was I nearly died in that place. Because I got that, what was it? I had to go and have an operation, yeah.
You did, yeah. Your gallbladder?
My gallbladder. I nearly died in that place. And I remember being in hospital and then coming out of the hospital and climbing over the fence.
Yeah, so you could come home.
So I could come home.
Because I had to take you back.
I didn't like it in hospital, so I came home. She went, "What are you doing?" I went, "I've come home." She said, "No, you can't just come home." Well, I have. Yeah, I climbed over. I climbed over the hospital wall to get back home. Oh, this is where we had all the trouble with bringing bloody boyfriends home to sleep.
Yeah, but you're just thinking about the bad times.
Yeah, I know, but no, I'm just saying this is...
the Mega Drive was invented.
Yes, we had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that. That was the old-fashioned one. But the kids seemed happy in that one, in this house. It was just, if I remember right, it weren't very warm, and it was too noisy, and it was too far away from anything. We had to can remember climbing for all them bloody steps up to the top, up to the main road.
Yeah.
And we went out, and you got absolutely pissed, and you pissed yourself. I've got to go home. I've got to go on back. I need to go to the thing about your mum is she'll not go to the loo anywhere else. She's got to go to the loo on her own loo. Unfortunately, she didn't quite make it to her own loo. So we had a waterfall down, went down the steps, didn't we?
The yoke. That one is poignant.
Oh, dear.
Just don't believe you.
Yeah. Mm. Right.
It's where we played Sonic.
Yeah. On the Mega Drive.
Yes.
Everybody played Sonic on Mega Drive. Which is this one. Ah. Opposite your...
No.
No? What, new this one?
No.
I don't know.
Think breaking your collarbone.
Yeah, but I can't remember what the name of the thing is.
Oh, no, it's because.
No, I didn't know. I can't remember the. Oh, that's where we had the windows taken out and where we got robbed. I forgot.
Yeah, we did. We got robbed.
Yeah, I can't remember. I've not got many memories. I do remember that we had new windows put in. And the people that put the windows in was in collusion with the burglars. Because they didn't put the bolts into the windows, did they?
Oh, well.
That's what they did.
I don't know if there was
There was in collusion with them.
I know we got robbed, but I don't
What
know
happened
if
was,
collusion.
you're supposed to put bolts, big screws, through the window frames to put it into the things. And what they did was they used mastic. They masticed the windows in. So the burglars came along with a Stanley knife, cut the mastic out, lifted the entire window out, and got in the house. But the dog never even barked.
No. Can you not remember digging the side out for a car in that one as well?
No.
And taking the steps out and the old lady next door getting really upset?
No, can't remember that. I don't remember much about that house at all. I do know it was in the middle of nowhere.
No, it was on.
Yeah, but it was on a cul-de-sac, wasn't it? That you had to walk all the way around the houses first before you could actually get to your house. Where's this one? This one's opposite.
Yeah.
Just still got the bit that I put in. I put a carp thing in for this one as well. And I built a huge pond in the back.
You was forever building car spaces.
Yeah, on this one. But then this side here had got a huge wall, so you couldn't do a lot with the house on that one. That's where I used to have my Cortina parked.
What about Ad? Remember it about Ad?
Yeah, me and was always at it because he was an awesome. Wanted to be the person that was the big tough guy. But then, when that little girl kept coming round and pestering him and pestering him and pestering him.
She wanted a little girl, Roy. She was his girlfriend, Doc.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the house where all my trouble started. So I had to leave that one. Aha. My God. That's his house. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought it was. This is his house. Yeah. I moved into that after he got his money from the army. He got his money from doing his time in the army. And he used his money to buy that. That's where we live. I ain't got that many memories of his house though. We ain't got, don't spend that much time with her. Oh my God. That is where I had to go to from leaving everything that I wanted and everything that I loved, and I got forced to living into This place. Well, I stayed but before I went here, but not for very long. So this place here is like a refuge in Newark. It used to be an old factory, but then the factory rooms were made into apartments, and the apartments was just one bedroom apartments, and you paid for the apartment, and you got, it was like bed and breakfast. In fact, I think it was bed and breakfast. If you wanted anything extra, you just paid extra for your meals. That's where I got a job working at the cake factory. Oh, now this one is it's Newark, but it's the one near the Trent. Trent was the small brand new house, but everyone else that lived around Trent and that close was all retired and had loads of money, didn't they? That was it. Only had, I think it had one co-op, one butcher, one, I don't even know. Yeah, it did one pub. That was it. And cows. Sheep in the field at the back, because we once had sheep in that. Bought Benjamin a racing car there. It had 12 batteries in it, and the batteries cost a fortune. Rechargeable batteries, and it lasted for about 30 seconds. It was, and then you had to wait another 2 hours to charge the batteries up to make it go. But we had that computer game. We went into Newark and we bought computer games for it. So we like computer games. But the kitchen in there, if I remember right, was minute. It's only as big as a shoebox. And the bedrooms weren't very big either. The biggest thing about that house was the living room. But that was it. Small garden at the front and somewhere to park your car at the side. That's when the lorry knocked me off of the road. Of course, I had to leave the car there. We left there. Can you remember when the Trent flooded, and we went and stood on that embankment, and it was like 3 foot from the top of the embankment, and there was nothing. It was just water. Everything was underwater. It's an amazing place. Now this one's back into Newark. I don't remember them swings and that. Was they new when they took the picture? Park. Now they've built a marina next to where we were. They've built a brand new marina, haven't they? But that's where the that's where the dog tried to eat that little dog.
Yeah.
How much that cost me? Cost me about 200 odd quid for vet's fees. We always had problems with this place with rent, because I'd pay the rent, and then for some weird reason they wouldn't record the rent as being paid as rent, and it got all my rent book got all mixed up with payments that you had made, payments that you hadn't made. Because when you go in the office and check your rent book, you pay your money, and the woman wrote it down on a card. But sometimes she wouldn't write it in the right place, or sometimes she'd miss it out, or she'd just take your money and you didn't have the card. And I was daft enough to just trust them that was all right. But then I started getting letters saying you owe us rent, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, how can I owe you rent? Because I paid it on my rent card. And then the factory went bust, went closed. So that meant we had to leave there because there was no more work, and I couldn't afford to pay this amount of rents that they was asking for the rent people. It's too expensive. Oh my God! Look at that. Jeez. Where's this one? Where is this one?
Street.
Can't remember the street.
No, White House is on.
Oh, remember this place. My God, it's like a prison. All concrete. Moved into the block of flats in Because she used to live in this one. Yeah, we moved into flats. Only for a short time though. That was horrible. It was absolutely awful. You couldn't go out anywhere. There's a lot of violence at that place. And the thing was, you didn't know whether you was going to come back from going out and find you got your door kicked in, because people used to come back home and find you got nothing in the flat, because they just kick the door in and take everything out of the flat that they yeah, not a good place. I didn't like that place. Good grief, that looks like Coronation Street. Ha! This is the one in Bull.
Yeah.
It does look like Coronation Street, doesn't it? That was a horrible house, wasn't it? It was like you went back to street house was terraced, just like this was. These were supposed to be semi-detached houses, but they weren't very good, very cold. But they was good for doing the shopping and whatever, weren't they? Because the shopping was just literally down the bottom of the street. Very back, small, if I remember right, it had a very small back garden as well. Ah, which is this one? Ah, this is the one near the gas station. The reason why I recognise this one is because I put that fence in. We got the fence in. Remember, we went to Corfu, and we brought back seeds from Corfu, from the pretty pink bushes that was there. And I grew the bushes, and the bushes grew. So we planted them in the garden and made a fence out of the garden. Then at the back, we did that's when we had his first gas barbecue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had a gas barbecue. Did all the back garden. That's where that fucking idiot tried to nick the car. And I had to go outside with no clothes on whatsoever, without a stitch. And this guy's in the car trying to steal the car, trying to break in the car, and he's threatening me with a screwdriver, going, "Yeah, get out." So I went back inside and I went to fetch the spade. What I'd been doing, I went, "Here you go," and he just run off. But he wrecked the car, didn't he? He wrecked the electrics. He pulled all the electrics out, so we had to get rid of it. And that was your Metro. Yeah. Wrecked the Metro. And that's when you realise that that place where you live in ain't quite as pretty and nice as what you thought. So, yeah. That's where we had to go and fetch our one night, about 3 o'clock in the morning when she went to Rock City. "Mum, I'm going to go with taxi home and it's freezing cold." So we had to go down into Rock City and fetch her back in again. Yeah. All in all though, that house wasn't too bad, was it? We only had one neighbour. It was quite nice. Except for there was a lot of aggro on the street, wasn't there? Yeah. You remember? It weren't our aggro, but it was people you couldn't park your car in the car park because you knew they were going to get broken into. And anything they had, people would come round and have a look, see what you got. But we've tried also. We've had everything in all of the houses. It's a wonder that we aren't experts. Remember those borders? You used to put one sort of wallpaper down along the bottom, and then a border in the middle.
Yeah.
And then a plain wallpaper on the top. Because you used to be always doing round the windows, cutting the edges and cutting the angles and making sure it was all put onto it.
Proper.
Yeah.